Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Today is Monday, and you know what that means. It's Mindset Monday with Andrée Martin. Andrée is your leadership mindset and golf performance coach. Andrée is an LPGA Class A member, a nationally recognized top 50 golf teacher and expert, and a member of the Maine Golf Hall of Fame, recognizing golf's value as a business tool in today's competitive marketplace. Andrée works with individuals, groups, corporate or organizational clients to create educational and team-building programs that enhance the professional success of aspiring executives. Andrée returns to the Success Insight podcast, and on this episode of Mindset Monday, we're going to chat about making adjustments to turn things around. Andrée, welcome to the Success Insight podcast.
Thank you, Howard. It's always good to be back with you.
Always good. I love these Mindset Mondays because I love, you're like digging down and finding the gold here, these little golden nuggets, and I love that we're able to share these with our listeners and anybody that really is focused on mindset. It's such an important factor that I think we either don't know enough about, or perhaps we dismiss it as too, for the sake of better words or make-up words, woo-woo. Mindset's very important. And if we don't have good mindset, things don't always turn out the way we expect. So let's talk about it.
At the same time, it's easy to just settle for silver, isn't it? But we're going for the gold here, folks. And that's what today's all about.
Yes.
So we want to think of failure as short-lived, soon to be replaced by success. You always want to believe that disappointment is replaced by your very next success. Just like in golf, you got a bad shot, bad hole. We want to adjust and turn this around. Say, that's not me. Now I'm going to turn this around. Believe. There's an old business saying, fake it till you make it, right, Howard? And you want to take that disappointment and replace it by your next success. Keep your eye on the target. Your eye on the target is not the disappointing shot you just hit. What's done is done. What's next? How are you going to turn it around? And so the past is past. Done. So how are we setting ourselves up for that success?
So a question I have is, you're a pro or, an amateur. You're out on the course and you have this disappointment, whatever that disappointment might be. Where do you go inside to make that adjustment so that you're not laying the groundwork to build on one failure after another, but stop, acknowledge it, say thank you, I needed that lesson, and then to move on to pursue the ability to turn things around.
It's interesting. I was reviewing some old video the other day, and there was a conversation with Peter Jacobson and Johnny Miller, and what they were saying, what it struck me or reminded me is the difference between your pros and your amateurs is they're incredibly creative. And when they hit a bad shot, it's like, oh, okay, so that's not the one. Peter Jacobson was talking about, today I'm going to hit my little Lee Trevino shot. And then on this shot, oh, no, this is my Johnny Miller shot. And then this next one, oh, this is my Peter Jacobson shot. And so he's got these coined shots in his bag that he pulls out given what he's got to work with, given the target, given the creativity opportunity he's got in front of him to carve out the shot. At no point in time is he thinking about technique. At no point in time is he thinking about missing. He's focusing in on the target and really dialing in on that next shot at hand. Very similar to what we do in business. What are we doing now? How are we adjusting? What can we do right now? What have we got in front of us? And how are we going to navigate ourselves the best way to dial in and nail it?
I've got one comment to that point, but before I introduce it, I'm curious, with this example with Peter Jacobson, it's like he has these canned shots, the Lee Trevino shot, the Johnny Miller shot. It's almost as though he has cataloged in his mind or somewhere that if the course looks like this, if the conditions are this, and my ball is here like this, it's almost as though he is going back into this catalog of where have I seen this before and how can I use it to turn things around?
And that's perfect lead in to the next quote I wanted to share with the audience, because again, it's all, how are we focusing and sharpening ourselves for success? So Gary Player always said, the more I practice, the luckier I get. So the more I practice, the better I play. How are you doing that in your business?
I'm thinking about the restaurants here in Chicago, and if it's like other cities, major cities in the US, globally for that matter, many of them made adjustments right away. Many closed down because they felt they had to. But the ones that made the adjustments, for example, to do the curbside delivery, I think it was a wonderful testament to their resilience, recognizing I have this adjustment I have to make. It's not a failure. Failure, I'd imagine, is more something you had a stake in or played a role in. They didn't really anticipate this event happening, but they recognized that they made an adjustment. Hopefully, the adjustment will help allow them to continue to stay in business and ride this crisis out. But the fact is, they made that adjustment. And I think it's just phenomenal. It's funny, some really good restaurants here in Chicago. Down the street, I have a 2-star Michelin restaurant that had a bar menu, and that's what they're doing. They're basically selling their bar menu every night, and it's wonderful to see. And I love that kind of adjustment.
Exactly. And all the restaurants here in San Diego were forced to close. I mean, they didn't really have a choice. And a lot of them, all their local restaurants, they're all offering certain hours and an adjusted menu, but they're making it available. They're thanking everybody. It's just amazing how they've made a turn of it. And what's interesting is Ponce's down the street is a Mexican menu, but 1 or 2 days a week at lunchtime, you buy a lunch, they're contributing to feeding San Diego. It's really cool. So these restaurants, they're starving, but yet they're realizing, hey, we're at least in business. So if you help us, you buy our food, we're going to allocate X amount each week to feeding the rest who cannot. It's pretty powerful. It gives me goosebumps.
That's a great example. I mean, the Michelin 2-star restaurant, Acadia, has the curbside delivery. And then up the street a little bit, a restaurant called Half Sour. I love this place. But they're actually going out, and as well as Manny's, my favorite deli of all time here in Chicago, is helping to feed the first responders, which I think is a wonderful way. Talk about this, the karma credits. I think they're making a choice because it's a good choice. They're doing well by it. It's good publicity, no doubt about that. But talk about the karma credits. If I know these restaurants are doing these types of things, these are the restaurants I'm going to continue to support when we're back to whatever the new normal is going to be.
The new normal, exactly. It's nice to hear, with you being in Chicago, me in San Diego, that all across America, because I know my sister's over in Boston and they've got restaurants doing that exact same thing, where they're providing all the first responders their food on a weekly basis. And they've actually created a GoFundMe page, which is very creative, to help support and feed first responders. So their creativity stepped up another notch, and they're doing that. You absolutely are going to want to support that when everything is said and done.
And and like the golf, the good amateur, the pro, I mean, and these restaurants, these businesses, they're making the adjustments, and whatever failure there was, it certainly was short-lived.
And what's interesting with golf right now is the courses are slowly open back up. And I've got students calling, well, I can't teach yet. I've got students calling me and saying, oh, I just had one of my best rounds ever. Well, why is that? They're not just adjusting, turning around. Where are your expectations? Yes, we want to go for the gold, but in going for the gold, a good athlete, a top tour level player has that relaxed mind so that they just play. And everybody's getting so relieved by getting back outside in nature. They're having a whole new experience with golf. It's fantastic.
That is very, very much good news and good for them. And, I think we're all having to make those adjustments and figuring out how do we continue to succeed and so we turn things around.
And that's truly taking liabilities or hurdles in the road and turning it into a strength.
Definitely. Perfect. Well, Andrée, I think it's a wonderful examples of, making those adjustments to turn things around. And if our listeners would like to continue to follow you, learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
Sure. I can be reached at www.andregolf.com, and you can certainly email me. I'm also available through LinkedIn and Facebook, and Instagram is up and coming. We're expanding out into that, but for right now, the LinkedIn and Facebook is very strong.
Fantastic. Well, we will definitely provide the links back in the show notes to Andrée Golf and your LinkedIn and your Facebook pages. So thanks again for joining me for Mindset Monday. It's fantastic to be able to partner with you on this and helping, whether you're a business or a golfer, the pro, the amateur, to, make those adjustments and turn things around. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Howard.
All right, folks, we have just been chatting with your leadership mindset and golf performance coach, Andrée Martin. Today's episode of Mindset Monday was adjust and turn things around. And just a reminder, we will put links back to Andrée's website, andregolf.com, her LinkedIn profile, and her Facebook pages and her Instagram pages back on our show notes for you so you can learn more about Andrée and her work. So, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, hey, what kind of adjustments are you making? How are you turning things around, either for yourself, your family, perhaps your business? And we'd love to hear from you. Please leave comments if you have the opportunity to listen to this podcast, either on our podcast page, successinsightpodcast.com, our Facebook page, or LinkedIn, which is the Success Insight Podcast. We are also on the major podcast channels, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, as well as our YouTube page. So lots of opportunities to chat with us, comment, and let us know what you think. So folks, go out there, have a phenomenal day, be safe, practice good social distancing, and we will see you on the next episode of Mindset Monday on the Success Insight Podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.